Hello, Roosevelt. I'm Mrs. Avery, your principal.
And I'm Mrs. Schaefer, your Family Resource Coordinator.
And we also have
Mrs. Conway, your Student Wellness Specialist.
Welcome, Mrs. Conway.
Hi, I haven't seen you guys in a while.
Well, we thought we would invite you back with us for a little bit and we could check in and see what you're doing and how you're doing.
That sounds awesome. So, you know how I really like to look for the good every day? Well, this is the time of year when it's really important to keep looking for the good. But sometimes we use a little different word. Sometimes we talk about the word grateful. Have you guys ever heard of that?
Yes.
I have heard that.
Okay, it's the same kind of idea as looking for the good. And you might notice, I have a fun turkey here. And when we were decorating at my house, I realized how grateful I was that I had all these memories of things that my kids made when they were little. And so I thought, hey, let's talk about being grateful. Are you ladies up for some questions?
Oh, are we?
All right, throw them at us,
Bring
Mrs.
'em on.
Conway.
Okay, I'm going to ask you about ways that you are grateful. And maybe then our friends at home, they can think about the same questions. Okay,
I love it.
question number 1. What are you looking forward to this week?
Well, I have something I'm looking forward to today. It's clear outside, it's a little chilly, but I'm looking forward to a nice walk this afternoon.
Wonderful. Mrs. Schaefer?
I love that. Mine's a little similar, but a few days down the road. I'm looking forward to Thursday because it's supposed to be 57 degrees and sunny. And I'm going to spend the whole day, once I'm done with work, outside.
That's great, Mrs. Schaefer.
So we kind of have something the same this
We
week.
do.
I love it. All right, question number 2. What made you laugh or smile today?
Oh, well, this morning I had some time to catch up with some of our coworkers here at Roosevelt, and they always make me laugh and smile. We talked about our weekend, we talked about funny things that our kids did, and about Roosevelt students and how great they are. That made me laugh and smile.
Mine's a little different. So this morning I kind of laughed at myself at home. I was doing my hair, and when I do my hair, I flip my head like this. And when I flipped it back, my hair was everywhere, and I looked pretty funny in the mirror. So I laughed at myself this morning. It kind of got me motivated this morning.
Well, I have to say, Mrs. Schaefer, your hair looks great.
Thank you for that, Mrs. Avery. You're so kind.
I love that you guys have different answers. This is so fun. Okay, question number 3. Oh, I like this one.
Uh-oh.
What's the most delicious thing you've eaten this week? And if you need a minute, think about it, because sometimes you have to think about it for a sec.
Oh, I think I'm ready for this.
Okay, I'll keep thinking while you're saying.
This weekend, we stayed home all weekend, and my son Henry and I made apple muffins together. And they were not only good on Saturday, they were good on Sunday, and also this morning too. It is so delicious. I even put some in the office in case any of you want some.
Can I tell you how grateful I am that you did that? Because I already ate one.
Oh, good.
So thank you.
Well, and you know what? It's also kind of neat that you got to do that with Henry. You kind of had a little special time. I bet you're grateful that you and Henry got to do something together.
I sure am.
That is so neat. So my most delicious thing, I love the fall because a fruit that is one of my favorite fruits is always out in the fall, and that is a pomegranate. Or some people call them Chinese apples. I went to Giant Eagle, and they had huge pomegranates. So I peeled one, and it was so juicy and fresh. It was delicious. It was my favorite thing that I ate this weekend, to be honest.
Awesome. All right, last question. Are you
This is
ready?
probably the toughest, Mrs.
You're
Schaefer.
probably right, Mrs. Aber.
And this one, I think, is really important. If you think about it, this is a really good special one. Who's someone who always listens when you talk?
Do you want to go first this time, Mrs. Schaefer?
Thanks, Mrs. Aber. I sure will. I feel like there's a lot of people, because at work, Mrs. Aber is someone who always listens to me when I talk. You are always someone who listens to me. At home, my husband. always listens. And my daughter, who lives with us right now, she is always someone I can vent an ear off of. And most importantly, my dog. Sometimes I can say things to my dog that I don't say to anybody else, and she never says anything back. That's always good sometimes.
That is so true, Mrs. Schaefer. You're one of the first people that came to mind too. I feel so lucky here at Roosevelt to have so many staff members that can listen to me or take a moment to talk with me, and I really enjoy those conversations. At home, my husband, and I will say my kids too, they are great listeners. I'm so proud of them. In fact, this morning, when I came downstairs, I noticed they did all the things that I told them that they needed to do. They got out their vitamins, they had made their beds, and they got dressed. They're
awesome.
Great listeners.
Well, you know what, Mrs. Conway? I bet Mrs. Aber's kids are such good listeners because she's such a good listener.
There you go. Very true. Well, you know what I'm realizing as I'm listening to you guys? All of these things, all of your answers, I think they probably make you feel very special and loved. Is that true?
They do.
They make my heart warm.
And you know what? Those are the good things that we look for every day. And those are the things that we should be grateful for. Things that we might not always remember to be thankful for or grateful for, but they're always there and they make us feel good. So thanks so much for answering all these fun questions. And friends at home, I hope maybe you think about some of these questions. What are ways that you feel grateful? And in turn, how does that make you feel special?
Taking the time to do this was just the perfect thing to do this morning. Thank you, Mrs. Conway.
Thank you,
Sure.
Mrs. Conway.
Anytime.
Well, should we send them off with our phrase?
I think we should.
Okay, we'll see you soon, Roosevelt. Be the
Best
best version of yourself.